India celebrates 77 years of being independent today, and with the Paris Olympics just concluding, it gives everyone invested in sports a good time to reflect. Reflect on the games that went by. So much has already been said about India's medal haul, not even matching that of the Tokyo edition, the last one. India, in fact, finished with 6 medals and a very slender possibility of a 7th ended late last night when CAS denied Vinesh Fogat's appeal for a joint silver. So a bitter end to a very long saga. But we aren't going to go there. The highlight of this campaign was India not winning any gold medals. The pinnacle of an Olympics event is striking gold. Isn't it a sign of concern and worry that in a country that boasts of more than 1 billion people, 1.4 billion people, there was not a single Olympic gold medalist this edition? Failing to win a single gold medal isn't the kind of reputation India wants to propagate, especially on a day when India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi expressed his desire for the country to host the Olympics in 2036.
भारत ने G20 को ऑर्गेनाइज किया, हिंदुस्तान के अनेक शहरों में ऑर्गेनाइज किया, 200 से ज्यादा इवेंट किए। पूरे विश्व में G20 का इतना बड़ा व्याप, इतना बड़ा कार्यक्रम कभी नहीं हुआ, इस बार हुआ। इसने एक बात सिद्ध कर दी है कि भारत में बड़े से बड़े काम कार्यक्रम ऑर्गेनाइज करने की ताकत है। भारत को किसी कोई भी हॉस्पिटैलिटी का सामर्थ्य भारत में सबसे ज्यादा है। अगर ये सिद्ध हो चुका है तो साथियों, हिंदुस्तान का सपना है कि 2036 में जो ओलंपिक होगा वो मेरे हिंदुस्तान की धरती पर हो। इसके लिए हम तैयारी कर रहे हैं, उसके लिए हम आगे बढ़ेंगे।
The 2036 Olympics is still 12 years away. A lot of groundwork will be done before that because winning the bid to host an Olympics itself is a massive challenge. And how does it work? Now, there are 2 committees who are responsible for overseeing the entire process involved in selecting a host. The IOC has 2 dedicated bodies, the Future Host Commission for Summer and another one for Winter Games, who play a vital role in deciding who the host country for the next edition and the one after would be. The votes will be cast via secret ballot. The host will be chosen by a majority of votes cast by each active member. The IOC currently has 99 members. These members include, of course, active athletes, former athletes, presidents or senior leaders of international sporting federations or organizations that are recognized by IOC. But even before India gets to that, the concern over India's competence on the world stage as contenders has to be addressed. Sure, every medal is a significant moment, a significant achievement, but for a country with such a massive population, not even winning 1 gold leaves many asking questions, especially when countries with far lesser population are doing much more. In the last 16 years, or should we say 5 Olympic editions, India has won only 2 individual gold medals. Out of India's 41 medals, only 10 are gold. Of course, a lot of that in hockey. Even out of the 10, only 2 are individual gold winners. Abhinav Bindra in 2008 and Neeraj Chopra in Tokyo. The rest, of course, coming from hockey at a time when India were a dominant force in the sport, and that's way earlier that we're referring to. And it's not like India as a sporting nation isn't growing. The nation has taken giant strides recently. The same athletes who failed to win gold clinched 28 gold medals at the Asian Games. But the same athletes who are Asian champions somehow fail to deliver under the pressure of performing on the world stage, that of the Olympics. If these athletes can do it on the Asian Games platform, why can't they do so and replicate it at the Olympics? What are the possible reasons? The larger point here is India's failure to convert the silvers and the bronzes to gold. Is pressure getting to the Indian athletes? Because everybody talks about quality, talks about infrastructure, but they fail to address the bigger issue, the mental aspect of it, the champion mindset. When Neeraj Chopra won silver at the Paris Games, he apologized that he couldn't win gold. When shooter Abhinav Bindra clinched gold in Beijing, the competition was tight until Bindra's last shot, and he dedicated all of the years to get to that place, to win a gold. And to do that, you need to soak up the pressure, you need to display a champion's mindset. And condition your mind to believing that India can win against any nation. That killer instinct, that seems to be lacking. So where does this stem from? The factor that contributes to this is a lack of sporting structure. Sure, the population is 1.4 billion, but how many are directly or indirectly involved or invested in sports? Let's look at some numbers. Only 5.56% of India's population are directly or indirectly involved in sports in the country. Compare this to countries like China and USA, and the numbers are telling. USA, 20%. China, it's a whopping 24%. They are way ahead of India, and that shows in the medal tally too. These numbers are, of course, based on a private survey done, and it establishes a stark difference. The importance of sports isn't something stressed upon from a very young age in a country like India. Unlike USA and China, where athletes are prepared from the time they are small, from the time of their childhood. For them, it's a way of life. It's a pattern that is part of the conditioning. Which brings me to another crucial factor, the disparity between male and female when it comes to sporting opportunities. In India, that seems to be a burning issue. For the first time in the history of Olympics, equal number of male and female athletes participated at Paris. Great. But for India, out of the 117-member contingent, 70 were male and 47 were female. What about USA? The country sent 314 women athletes and 278 male athletes to Paris. Women athletes are critical, just as critical to a country's sporting tradition and dominance as are male athletes. A huge aspect in a country's success at the world stage. Ask USA or China or even Australia this. The contribution of women to their medal tally was immense. These numbers will drive home the point that I'm trying to make. India only had one woman medalist in the list among 6. That is 25% because Manu Bhaker contributed to 2 of those medals. Look at USA. Nearly 60% of the medals came via female representation. This is taking the mixed events into count too. China and Australia ahead, crossing the 60% mark. 62%, in fact, is one of the countries. It's a huge gap that India is miles away from filling. And to take this point further, how many of the Paris-bound Indian athletes had taken part in major sporting disciplines? Before Neeraj Chopra, India did not have a face in athletics. Even in track and field events, the country continues to struggle at the big stage. So the failure to compete dents India's chances further, and even those who are competing are happy to settle for silver or bronze. Maybe India needs to start asking, if it isn't a gold, is it a failure? Because if India dreams of hosting an Olympics, the dream has to start with conquering the Olympics. The mind needs to win the battle first, and that champion mindset is what India needs to start developing and honing.
Climate change is on our doorstep. It's time for a revolution to take root. And it starts with 1.4 billion Indians. It starts with one tree for humanity, one tree for Mother Earth, one tree for our future. Project One Tree, a News 18 network initiative.
Across continents, one powerful news source.
Bringing you diverse perspectives on the issues that matter.
We go beyond the boundaries to give you that little extra about every sporting moment.
So thank you for making Firstpost 5 million strong. We're counting on your support, and you can trust us to bring you the news unfiltered and unvarnished.
On this today, the T20 World Cup bandwagon has moved across to the West Indies.